guys, ADPC Customs here. Sorry it's been a while. I had a few things I needed to focus on outside of YouTube. Just coming back now after the few days after the Apple event, and I thought it was worth me talking a little bit about the Apple event. And I'm sure I'm not alone in feeling somewhat underwhelmed by the launch of the iPhone 16. Now, they did point out on a couple of occasions, fantastic new design and all the rest of it. And this is the first thing I want to touch on, because I'm sorry, but I don't think so. Now, I personally don't see much difference between the iPhone 16 and any of the others we've had. Just one moment. See, tell me what iPhone model that is. Yeah. That's not the iPhone 16. That's the iPhone 13. And that's the 14. That's the 15. Camera's different. And that's the 16. Now, let's just see if we can side by side these a little bit, shall we? Do those phones look all that different to you? Now, yes, obviously you can see here is the new camera control button that they really would not let go. It's a slightly more advanced camera shutter button. We've had these on phones for quite some time. I have to say, Apple are a bit late to the party on that one. And we have the other button, which was introduced on the 15 Pro and Pro Max. And sorry, that's the 14. There we go. I made a mistake there. That's the 14. That's the 16. There's the 15. Apart from the difference in cameras, because this isn't a Pro model, but I believe the Pro model looked identical to the others. There's that button. I'm sorry, Apple, but where's the new design? There's subtle differences with the dynamic island and the notch and what have you, but other than that, there's no real change. And I'm sorry, but I disagree with a few other YouTubers' takes, or at least Linus. Linus says he's being optimistic and so on and so forth. And you shouldn't be complaining about lack of innovation generation on generation. I'm sorry, but it's what people have come to expect from Apple with iPhones. Innovation, something new, a change, an improvement, something. Now, my problem with the iPhone 16 is it's not that much of an upgrade over the iPhone 15. I am using an older iPhone, the XR. Not a bad phone. I came to this from Android. I bought this used. I've not had it since it came out. I bought this used and it's fine. I like it. I like it well enough. I do miss certain aspects of Android. And I don't have a problem with using it per se. It's just that it's nothing special. Everyone talks about, oh, get an iPhone. Once you've had an iPhone, you'll never want to have anything else. Now, we're on the Apple website here looking at the iPhone 16 Pro. They make it look a big deal. And there's all the talk with the cameras and all the AI features. The AI features are not going to be available when the phone comes out. I, on this phone, have iOS 18. None of the Apple Intelligence updates are in there. Now, it's possible they won't work on my phone anyway, but they will work on the 16 Pro. The 16 Pro and the 16 and the 16 Plus and the 16 Pro Max are designed to use it. But the software's not apparently not going to be out. According to this, Apple Intelligence coming this fall. Why couldn't they synchronize these to release so they release at the same time? What's the point in buying the phone, which is available tomorrow? What is the point if you can't use all the functionality you're buying it for? Because they're hoping you're going to buy this phone based on the AI. Some outlets are saying, well, some YouTubers are saying that they're just saying it to as a buzzword to keep up with everybody else. I don't believe that for 1 second. They want you to buy into Apple AI. First iPhone built for Apple Intelligence, which it will not have. Personal, private, blah, blah, blah. The camera control, that's kind of nifty, but I'm more than happy using the screen. I don't really need that. 4K, 120 FPS, Dolby Vision, 4 studio quality mics and a Pro Studio in your pocket. Who needs that? Thinnest borders yet. They're not that different. I'm sorry. The A18 Pro chip, the specs sound really, really good. They do. But who needs it? Huge leap in battery life. It's about time Apple sorted out the iPhone's battery. It's always been an issue. Doesn't last very long. You watch a few videos and the battery's starting to die. And here we are. Here's one of the another set of images very similar to the ones I've just shown you. How does that look any different, markedly different, just at face value, just at a glance? How does that look different to last year's model or the year before's model? If that's laid face down on a table in a bar, you're not going to know that's a 16 unless you know all the colours that are out. And if it's got a case on it, you sure as shooting ain't going to know which one it is. And if it's face up, you're not going to know what it is. No one's going to know that you're rocking an iPhone 16 Pro or Pro Max. They're going to think you've got a 15 Pro Max or Pro. They're going to think the same thing about it possibly being a 14. You're the only one who's going to know. Do you need titanium? Is aluminium not going to do? Grade 5 titanium design with refined microblasted finish. So, thinnest borders on any Apple product. Well, compared to my recent acquisition of the iPad, the M2 iPad Air, 11-inch, yes. There's a really tiny actual manufacturing bezel, but then there's the black border all the way around it, which is not tiny, but it does its job. And no, I'm not switching completely over to Apple, but I'm giving Apple a try. I quite like the iPad. It's actually quite pleasant to use. I don't mind the iPhone. But I wouldn't be heartbroken if someone turned around to me and said, here's the latest Android phone for free. Use that. Give me a Samsung Galaxy S24 or whatever it is. I'm happy to use that. New display technology allows us to route display data under active pixels with no distortion. Super Retina XDR display. Buzzwords. iPhone 16 Pro is splash, water and dust resistant. Not proof, resistant. Latest generation ceramic shield material that's 2 times tougher than any smartphone glass. Talk about durable. I'm willing to bet that you will still, after this phone has been out for a few months, you will still see people sat using this phone with a huge spiderweb crack right across the front of it. Because almost every iPhone you see has got a crack or a scratch on the screen. Most people who've been rocking an iPhone for any length of time have got a broken screen, no matter how tough they claim the glass is. Apple Intelligence, AI opening possibilities. Oh, lovely pun. Coming this fall. iPhone 16 Pro is built for Apple Intelligence, the personal intelligence system that helps you write, express yourself, and get things done effortlessly. With groundbreaking privacy protections, it gives you peace of mind that no one else can access your data, not even Apple. Prove it. And prove it by proving that you're proving it. You know what I mean? You can tell me this all you like, and you can show me all sorts of evidence, but it doesn't necessarily prove that that's the case. But okay. The AI features, some of them are quite interesting. I'm quite intrigued by some of them. I wouldn't mind giving some of them a try, but for the most part, what's the point? Are we really getting to the point now where you just want to, you know, it's like there's one, it's basically Google Lens. I press the fancy camera button, point it at something, take a picture, and you can get information. Whoop-de-doo. You could do that with Google Lens. And what's the other one? Oh, if you scan a poster that's got date and time information on it, it can be added to your calendar. That's kind of useful, yeah, but if you've already got your phone in your hand, you might as well open your calendar app. And if you're frequently adding things to your calendar app is a shortcut on your home screen and you're straight into it, or it's a shortcut on your lock screen and you're straight into it. So I'm sorry. And some of the new functionality in iOS 18 is not all that fantastic either. Yes, you can now tint your icons and change those to light mode and dark mode and so on and so forth. A bunch of customization features which have been available on Android for about 10 years or more. Okay, I might be exaggerating, I'm not sure, but they've been available for quite some time. At the moment, I am still not seeing anything that is special and says, I must have an iPhone. I wanted to try it out. I've got one now. I don't necessarily feel that I'm stuck with it, but I'm not particularly eager to avoid going back to Android. The writing tools might be handy. It's sort of like having Grammarly on your phone. You know, the writing tools can proofread your text. Oh, excuse me. I have to adjust. This chair's not very good. You can proofread your text, rewrite different versions until the tone and wording are just right. Yeah, that's great. You're going to now fiddle and faddle with your text messages even more so than you ever did before when you can't get your tone right. Just hit record in the notes or phone app to capture audio recordings and transcripts. Apple Intelligence generates summaries of your transcript so you can get the most important info at a glance. That could be dangerous. Priority messages in mail. Elevate time-sensitive messages to the top of your inbox, like an invitation that has a deadline today or a check-in reminder for your flight this afternoon. Don't a lot of email services automatically flag important emails anyway? That could be useful, but and they can claim what they like about privacy. And the camera control. No doubt most of you have seen the videos and the reviews and the talk about it. Yeah, it's nice, but does that look like a comfortable way to use your phone to take a photo? I mean, me personally, I pick up my phone like that, and my thumb is already right near the shutter button. So it's not drastic. It's not the best placement, if you ask me. Yes, this little island here that comes up when you start using this little touch button, it's usable in third-party apps as well, like the Snapchat app. I did take a couple of notes from the event. Custom emojis, image playground, AI allowing you to relive memories. Google Photos does that. Image playground, okay. Siri's now going to be tapping into GPT if it's needed, and so on and so forth. Visual intelligence. I can't remember what that was now, but there's nothing that's really blowing my skirt up, is my point. And I'm tempted to try a newer iPhone to see if the experience is better and catches my imagination more than using the XR. But at this moment in time, I'm not thinking it will. The screen might be smoother. 4K 120 FPS Dolby Vision's. Why? Why do we need that on a phone? ProRes now is on all iPhones and so on and so forth. Yeah, up until recently, I was using my iPhone to shoot videos in which my face appeared for YouTube. And it was pretty good, apart from it only worked wirelessly, and I did get some audio synchronization problems with the video. I'm currently... that's my phone just fallen over. I am currently using something a bit different for this video, which I might make a video about, which I found interesting when I discovered I could do this. But you can adjust the playback speed after capture. Can't you do that on almost any phone that shoots video? 48 megapixel fusion camera. Over 48 megapixels, is that really necessary for most of the videos that most people are shooting? And how many people, honestly, are shooting movies? You know, you get it shot on iPhone and everyone talking about how wonderful it is. You know, somebody recently I can't remember the artist's name now, recently shot an entire music video using iPhones. Like, well done, mate. Well done, you paid over the odds for that. Because they went out and bought a whole bunch of iPhones to shoot this on, and all the fancy gimbals and what have you, and a bunch of iMacs and iPads and everything to do all the editing on and what have you. Why not just use the cameras that are already in place with the company, with the firm, the producers and directors and camera companies that you would normally use? Who needs 4 studio quality microphones on their mobile phone? Audio mix, that could be useful. You can adjust the way, you know, you can adjust for clearer voice in it. That's fine. Oh, there he is. The Weeknd. He shot an entire music video on an iPhone. Wonderful. I bet that's a great video. And also, one of the other things they were talking about was the ability to pause the recording of a video. While you're shooting a video on your iPhone, while you're recording your kids playing in the park or something, you can pause that recording and then resume that recording without having to start a second recording. I'm fairly confident that's been on Androids for a very long time. I'm certain I could do that on my Samsung A20, I think it was. So, you know, some of the camera information is kind of cool. Camera stuff is kind of cool, and some of the things you can do is kind of cool. But at the same time, what's the point? I mean, why do we need to be able to do this on the phone itself? Are we now start having wedding photographers walking around with iPhone 16 Pros and giving the bride and groom a live preview of the photo they've just taken? No. They've changed a few things and what have you, and yeah, it's kind of nice. 16-core neural engine, because everyone's now got to have AI. 6-core GPU, enhanced graphic performance. If you play games on your phone and you're wanting to play the same kind of games that you play at home on your computer or on your games console, great. 6-core CPU, that's might be handy, yeah. 17% increase in total system memory bandwidth compared to last gen, I assume. Oh, we actually have a comparison here. They weren't particularly forthcoming about this information originally. So, compare with an iPhone 12 Pro Max. So, compared to the 12 Pro, it's up to 60% faster. Up to 2 times faster. Right, so the CPU is about up to 60% faster. Up to. So it could be a lot less than that. And up to 2 times faster on the GPU. So it could be only 50% faster on the GPU. Why use 2 different types of metric? But anyway, let's compare it to the 15. 20% and 15% for them. Not a big increase, and you're not really noticing. Oh, and they really don't want to involve Microsoft, do they? PlayStation controller. I can't stand those. Having hardware accelerated ray tracing's nice. On the 17 compared to the 17 Pro, it's faster. That's nice. It's nice to have that if you're playing games, but up to 33 hours of video playback on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Bet it done. 27 hours of video playback on the 16 Pro. Right, so because the Pro Max is bigger, they've put a bigger battery in it. Okay. Compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, up to 2 less hours video playback on the iPhone 16 Pro. And hang on a minute. A17 Pro, sorry, the previous chip is what I was talking about. Up to 4 more hours video playback on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So on the 16 Pro, you're getting 2 less hours of playback compared to the 15 Pro Max. Okay. So let's go to the 15 Pro. So the 16 Pro gets 4 more hours of playback, video playback, compared to last gen. And the Pro Max gets 4 more hours of playback based on the 15 Pro Max. So yeah, okay. And the customizations and changes in iOS 18 aren't all that great. Personalize your home screen. Wonderful. We could do that a little bit already, and I'm sorry, you've been able to do a lot of this on other devices for a long time. And satellite calling. Wonderful. Because why can't that be something you add on if you're the kind of person who needs it? Why does that need to be taking up space on my phone just in case I need it? I mean, that might be handy in certain areas of the US and maybe Australia, but for the most part, a lot of people aren't going to necessarily need that. The coverage isn't that bad, surely. Crash detection. Okay. Crash detection uses hardware sensors and advanced motion algorithms to detect a severe car crash, then call 911 and notify your emergency contacts when you can't, even when you don't have service. So in other words, a good enough jolt and it'll call the emergency services if you're in America and your emergency contact if you've set it up, and it'll do it all through satellite. Great. And I'm sure that when this video goes up, and those who watch the video are going to have plenty to say and scream at me for not saying that the iPhone's fantastic and everything's wonderful. But frankly, I'm not really that bothered. I'm really not that bothered. I'm not that interested. And then the rest of it, pay over time, interest free. Yeah, because it's ridiculously expensive. The 16 Pro is $999. The standard 16 is $799. Still a lot of money for a phone. It's a little bit more affordable on the standard 16, and most people are not going to need the Pro, but a lot of people will buy it anyway. They will still buy it anyway, and they're going to be buying it because of the Apple Intelligence, which they are not going to get, not straight away, and even then it'll probably not work properly because that's the way it goes. Let me have a look at my notes here. Yeah, there was talk of tetraprism lenses and so on and so forth, and being faster than certain things and doing 4K 120, which is, yeah, that's wonderful. There was one thing that caught my attention, though, that they're doing. During the event, they did mention that you could get an $800 trade-in against an iPhone 16. I'm not sure if it's just the 16 or the 16 Plus or the 16 Pro or Pro Max. If it's right across the range, and I don't understand why there needs to be a range. I really don't. Why there has to be 4 iPhones. Do a small one, do a standard one, and do better storage options as standard. Yeah, an $800 trade-in against an iPhone 16 when you trade in an iPhone 12 or newer. It's not bad. It does mean, though, that they're going to take that phone back and they're going to then shred it. It will get shredded. It will not get properly recycled because they don't do that. And it will not get passed on to a member of the family who wants a new phone or is ready for a new phone when you purchase your new one, because you'll have traded it in. It's the only way you're going to be able to afford it. Wonderful. But yeah, that's the iPhone 16 in a nutshell for me. Not a bad looking phone. Some nice features, I suppose, but otherwise, boring. And yes, there are quite a few other YouTubers who are going to contradict me on that, and I'm sorry. So what if that's your take on it? If that's how you feel, you're going to try and be more positive and tell people just don't upgrade as often if you want to see the performance increase. It's not how it works. People are tempted by the advertising that they're going to get an uplift, they're going to get improvements, they're going to get new, better, faster every time a new product comes out. And then when you realise there's nothing all that new about it, you have every right to get cross. You really do. But Linus says slow down on your upgrade cycle and then you'll see the performance increase. Or, as his buddy Luke said, compare to an older generation to see your uplift. I'm not being funny. I could compare anything to something that's 2 generations older than it and get an improvement, anything that's older is going to be less good than the new hotness. But at the end of the day, the amount is tangible only by how far back you're going. Compare the iPhone 16 to my iPhone XR. It's going to be a huge upgrade compared to this. A huge upgrade. But the person who bought an iPhone 15, when the iPhone 15 came out, isn't going to be very pleased to find out that he's spending $800, $900 on his new phone, and the performance, he can't tell the difference. You can quantify it in figures all you like, but in the day-to-day usage, you're probably not going to notice the difference. And yeah, maybe don't be daft and upgrade every time they bring out a new one. iPhone, great. Apple, please do not keep bringing out a new iPhone every single year unless you've got something absolutely groundbreaking to bring to the table. You're bringing out a new iPhone next year? It better be a foldable, or it better be a dual screen in some way, or there better be a change in the design, or some way of not having this huge triple camera bump, which means no phone lays flat on a surface anymore. So one of the things, there's an app for that, I remember being a thing. Spirit level apps don't work on these phones now, even though this phone is perfectly flat, apart from this. Use it as a ruler or a T-square, for God's sake. Other than that, it's got slightly rounded corners. Way, hey, whoop-de-doo. But yeah, people, if you bought a phone last year, you're not due for a new one. Don't fall for the nonsense. That is one thing I do agree with Linus on. If you've got an iPhone 15 Pro Max, you do not need to go out and buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max. They're basically the same phone. They're almost exactly the same phone. A lot of the Apple Intelligence stuff will probably work on the 15. The 16 is designed for it, apparently. But a lot of the AI stuff will probably work on the 15. It'll work slightly better on the 16, I suppose, but you're not going to know. In day-to-day usage of the phone, watching YouTube videos, shooting video, taking photographs, doing your emails, browsing the internet, making phone calls, sending text, things like that, and messing around with your normal apps and your social networking apps, you're not going to notice a difference. You're really not. So what's the point? And this is already quite a long video, but I just want to add a little one thing on the end that is nothing to do with Apple. I am now done bashing Apple. PlayStation Pro, PS5 Pro, $800, and at the same time £800. How is £800 and $800 exactly the same? I don't see that it is. I don't see that it is myself, but we'll see about that. I want to see if I can pound sterling into United States dollar. Switch back. Here we are. £800 sterling is $1,062.42. Why are they selling it at the exact same value as if it's pound to dollar is identical? But hey ho. So for argument's sake, we'll change this. $800, £602.40. If we were going by exchange rates, £602.40 it should be for the PS5 Pro. But why is the PS5 Pro, as expensive as it is, when there's very little uplift and they're not telling us hardly any information about the change in architecture or change in internal components, and you don't get a disk drive? That is, what is it, $50 for a disk drive for it. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll upgrade my PS5 to a PS5 Pro, I'll go and buy a PS5 Pro, and all the physical games that I bought, I'll play them on it and I'll get the uplift because of the improved specs. Wrong. You need to buy a disk drive for it. The stand is $30. A stand so it can stand upright and show off that ugly popped collar. That is $30. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But that could be another video, I suppose. That is just a brief catch-up and my thoughts on the iPhone release, the iPhone launch. Disagree with me if you want. I have got no problem with that. It's each to their own. You know, I have no problem if you think it's absolutely wonderful and you think I'm wrong. Be respectful in your comments, but I've got no problem with you disagreeing with me. I'm a grown man. I can take it. I don't particularly think that the new iPhone is anything to write home about, and I will not be rushing out to mortgage a kidney to go and buy a 16 Pro Max, and I will also not be selling one of my legs to get a PS5 Pro. I'll stick to my PC, thank you. Even though the components are quite old, I can play all the games I like. And as anyone who's been watching my channel will know, I'm quite the fan of the Arkham series, and I do not need a 4070 for that, and I do not need a brand new processor for that, and DDR5 RAM. So, and I don't need a PlayStation, and I don't need an Xbox. So, but yes, I've been ADPC Customs. You have been fantastic and bored to tears, no doubt, and angry with me. But I will see you in the next one. I have been looking at my analytics. I've got some really nice viewing figures. You're not subscribing. Come on. If every single person who has watched one of my videos subscribes, I will be a very happy guy, because my channel will then grow and it will give me the opportunity to do more videos and better videos. And likes will get my videos seen by more people at the end of the day. So please like and subscribe. Share the videos with people that you know if you think that they'll get something out of the video. Hey, share the video if you just want to make your iPhone fanboy friend really angry. But the more people who subscribe and the more people who like the videos, the bigger I can grow the channel and the more I'll be able to do. If you are even vaguely interested in my opinions and my videos, my how-tos. Because at the moment, almost everybody who's watching my videos exclusively is not subscribed. Hey, even if you never watch another one of my videos and you just ignore any notification that comes through saying I've uploaded one, just subscribe. It costs you nothing. It's not even going to affect you. Anyway, I've been ADPC Customs, and I will see you in the next one.